All right, now that I'm back from Trader Joe's, it's time to go ahead and delve into this dinner. I need to make this quick so I can get on my bicycle and ride off. And then I'm probably going to come back and eat it once I return because I will have garnered up quite a bit of an appetite. Anyway, so I've got my items that I've gotten from Trader Joe's. I've got my chicken broth, I've got my pepper, got some heavy whipping cream, I've got my potatoes, and I've got the chicken that I think I'm gonna cut it up into cubes and make some type of wine sauce with this wine that I have here that someone left here on my birthday. So anyway, it's about time to get started. Let's get cooking. First, we're going to go ahead and get this chicken cooking. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut my chicken up into 1-inch pieces. My way of cutting may be different than someone else's. I'm not necessarily a professional at this. I'm just more of a cooking fanatic. I enjoy making meals from time to time. So I'll just go ahead and cut all these up into manageable pieces. Now that we've got the chicken cut up into manageable pieces, let's go ahead and add some salt and pepper to it and go ahead and put it on the stove so that we can get it cooking so that we can get to all the other parts of the dinner. So what I'm going to do is add 2 teaspoons of pepper, and 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I think I got just a little bit more than 2 of the pepper, so we might be on the spicy side today, but that's okay. We need a little spice in our life. Okay, now that we've got our chicken into manageable pieces, we'll go ahead and transfer that to the pan and brown the chicken on each side. Now you don't need much olive oil to get this done. You just want to make sure you don't crowd the pot with too much chicken at one time. So as much as I'm cooking, I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 to 3 pans full. So now that we've got our chicken cooking, we can take our potatoes, or medley potatoes. As you can see here, we've got even some purple ones. Thought that was a neat color. Not sure what kind of potatoes those are, but we'll see how tasty they are. So we'll take these and put these onto a baking sheet or some kind of grill. This right here is a grill that I got for my stove, but it's also cool that you can put it into the oven and cook with it. So I'll take this and go ahead and put this into the oven. Now that we've got our chicken into manageable, so that I'm not crowding the pot. Feels like it's getting crowded, but not really. I think I'll get a little bit more in. So what we're going to do now is open up the wine. I'm going to pour a 1/4 cup, actually a 1/2 cup of white wine into a measuring cup, and some wine into a glass. Not that I drink wine every time that I cook, y'all. I really don't. But anyway, what we're going to do now is I've got here some feisty Italian and garlic cheddar seasonings that I got from one of the local seasoning companies. So I figured that'll help spice up our wine sauce. Okay, so now that we've opened up the wine, we can go ahead and take some of these items and combine them into the bowl. So first I'll take the wine and pour it into the bowl. We want to make sure that this is good wine. So I'll just take a sip. It's pretty good wine. Yeah, you'll like that. And that's one of the most important pieces of making a meal, is making sure that the ingredients are good for your guests. You definitely don't want your guests having bad wine. Then let's go ahead and take a couple of these spices and we'll just put a couple pinches in there. If we want to add something later, we can. But I'm just adding these just to add a little bit of kick to our sauce. We can salt and pepper this to taste when we get done. Some people are not a fan of salty food, so we want to make sure that we don't do anything that offends taste buds of folks who may be eating it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the sauce started cooking. So now we'll go ahead and get our wine sauce cooking. I'll pour our mixture into the braising pan and turn the heat up slightly and let this cook for a few moments while we prepare our vegetables. Now that we've cut up the pepper and we have our garlic ready and our mushrooms ready, we can go ahead and add that stuff right to the pot. The sauce will be more tasty with these items in it. And I'll save a few just to garnish the plate at the end. And we'll just add a few mushrooms. I know some of you out there are not big mushroom fans. That's okay. I know some people like mushrooms, including me. So we'll have a little bit of mushroom flavor as well. And what we'll do is let this cook for a few minutes so that we wind up with a reduction. Some of this wine will actually burn off and we'll be left with the actual taste of the wine. Now that our sauce has boiled down a little bit, we can go ahead and take our partially cooked chicken and add it to the pot. While cooking the chicken, it's actually good to keep turning it over to make sure that we get some sauce into all of the chicken, and also that it cooks more evenly than if we just left it in one spot. While everything else is cooking, this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get dessert started. So what I like to use is this ceramic peeler that I got. This thing right here just makes it really easy to peel apples, peaches, or whatever else. Anyway, I'll take our core the apple, and we'll have 6 slices or 8 slices. Then we'll go ahead and core the second apple. And we've got a bunch of slices here. Testing. Okay, so all we'll need to do with these apples is to go ahead and just add them to a skillet with just a little bit of water in it. Really, we don't need that much water because the apples themselves are going to create even more water. I'll just put a couple tablespoons of Splenda in it. Really doesn't need all that much sugar. And if you guys don't like Splenda, you can always use sugar or stevia or whatever sugar substitute you may decide that you want to use. And so we'll just take this and stir these apples around. I like to cover my apples so that they get slightly softer. Well, now that everything seems to be done cooking, it's time to go ahead and cut the heat off and let it cool down so that I can have some when I get back. So now I can hit the streets and get on my bike, and I'll see you all when I get back. Man, well, after that bike ride, I'm so ready to eat something. Here is the final meal. I've got my vegetables, I've got my potatoes, got my garlic wine chicken, got my apples for dessert, and have another glass of the wine. Actually, half a glass of wine. Anyway, thank you for joining me while I made my Sunday dinner. Anyway, it's time to eat, y'all. So come on over for a plate or go get something good. Ciao. Pretty good.